Slick off here, back again with another video. On this one, doing a first for the channel. This is going to be a try commentary with Salvage1009, who I've regularly had on, and for the first time on the channel, Jake Irongen.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Thank you both for joining me today. I'll have both their channels linked in the description below in case you're not subscribed to them already. So today we're going to be talking about a tweet from a WB Games Montreal developer. Not one that I've shown you before on this channel. And this tweet, actually, Jake told me about it, and we're looking at it, and this tweet is depressing, informative, enlightening, and revealing all at the same time, but mostly depressing. So here's what the tweet says. I'll flash it up on screen here. 2 true and very important advice. So this is Bobby. He's a game developer at WB Games Montreal. My last 3 projects were canceled, and 6 years of my life were thrown away. So, you know, it's very fucked up. It's depressing because I don't know what he's responding to. Do you know what he was responding to, Jake?
I don't remember. I think it was just someone talking about how fluid the game industry is, where things get canceled and rebooted all the time, way more than like films, for example.
It's true. And the thing with films is that most of them get canned before they go into production, right?
Right.
But with games, you're already like 50% done with the game when it gets canceled. So what are your guys' thoughts on this? This guy, Bobby, is basically confirming all of the leaks that we've heard about these different games being canceled. So Suicide Squad is one that we know for sure was rebooted. Canceled completely, it seems. And the Damian Wayne Batman game, we know that that was rebooted. The third one is a little bit more ambiguous to me, though.
If I were to take a guess, I would think that it was rather a Superman game, which would seem likely to cancel, like if it was really ambitious and it just didn't go the way WB wanted it to. And WB Montreal was like really happy about it, but WB, of course, didn't see any profit in it. They're like, this is going to bomb, it's going to be terrible, and they canned it. That would make sense, too. And wasn't there like concept art and leaks about it, too, in about early 2014, 15 or something like that?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's why I agree with you, Salvage. I think that it likely was that Superman project. I think that the person who leaked it actually said, basically what they made it sound like was that it was a project that was never officially greenlit by WB, but that it was a project that, you know, they had in pre-production and were working to getting to production. So they had like concept art, they had a lot of tests and prototype stuff going into it. So yeah, like that's a lot of work that even if that was canceled, even though it wasn't greenlit, still could be a huge loss for WB.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if the leaks were around 2015, which I remember, then that would make, of course, them working on that game for 2 years. So that's 2 years from ARKHAM Origins to, of course, the Superman game being canceled. And then we have the Suicide Squad game, which was probably worked from that cancellation Superman to 2016 December, which then it was canceled. And then the Damian Wayne game was rebooted in, 2017?
Yeah, so that one's like, the reboot has been in the works for like 2 years. So that's a pretty major overhaul as well.
Yeah, so the reboot is from the Damian Wayne game was, I mean, I think that's like the final one that we're seeing. But Kobe, is there anything like, what do you think like out of this tweet is the biggest thing out of it?
To me, honestly, it actually has nothing to do with the content of what we're talking about in the video. It really is just depressing because think about it from this guy's perspective, right? You're working on something for 6 years of your life, all of that work. You're missing everything, you know, family vacations, and you're missing all this stuff, working late nights, and you're working while you're sick and working through all these things to try to ship a game that you think is going to make people happy and that they're going to love. And you sort of sacrifice so much in the long term, or in the short term, with the hope that in the long term it will be enjoyed by so many fans and it will pay off. And really, he's worked all of this time and he's getting paid for it. So it's not really a question of it's not that aspect of it. It's not the financial aspect of it. It's the fact that you are investing all of this time and energy into basically nothing. You did it all for nothing. No one will ever enjoy the content and the work that you did. And even more so, here's another problem. This guy, Bobby, he looks young. What if this is his first gig, right?
Ugh.
His first game development gig. And in game development, from what I understand, it's all about your portfolio, right? So let's show everybody, what have you done? What have you accomplished in the game industry? And basically at this point, nothing. It's not that he hasn't done anything, because he has on projects that have been canceled that are under NDA that he can't talk about. So there's
Mhm.
nothing that he can show. He has nothing to show for all the work that he's done. And let's say maybe he wanted to leave W Montreal 4 or 5 years ago, but if this is his first job and he doesn't have any portfolio at this point because of whatever reason, you know what I mean? Like, that could be a concern as well. But really, it's just depressing, you know? Just like, it's hard to think about. He's been working at this studio for 6 years that hasn't, and like everything that he's done has basically been canceled and, you know, thrown in the dumpster. And that's really depressing.
Yeah, in a way, I kind of feel bad for them for, I mean, in a way, kind of pushing them in a way, you know what I mean, for the past 6 years. But now seeing that, you know, not all of it was their fault. A lot of it was WB themselves. The execs probably pulling the plug on a lot of these projects that they were hoping that they could get out sooner than they expected. And honestly, I bet they were trying to go for like a 2017 release for the Suicide Squad game, and that was pulled. And then, of course, we got nothing. That would have made sense. So the 6 year, of course, you know, the 6 years being thrown away of his life, that is really sad, and it sucks a lot that a lot of those developers had to go through that for the last 6 years.
It sucks for everyone involved. Sorry, I'll let you talk in just a second. But like, it sucks for WB because they've dumped hundreds of millions of dollars into these games that haven't been released. It sucks for the fans because the fans haven't gotten anything. It sucks for the developers that are putting in the man hours. It's a lose situation for everybody involved. Nobody wins in canceling a video game. It really is a difficult decision to make. And the thing is we don't know. Was it the game director that was like, yeah, nothing's really working? Was it the studio that didn't like it? And W Montreal loved it, but the studio didn't for whatever reason. You can never know for sure, and in some sense it doesn't matter. What matters is we're not getting the game. This guy, he feels frustrated that his life has been sort of wasted, or, you know, the last 6 years of it anyway, of his work. And sorry, Jake, what were you going to say? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, I was kind of just going to echo what you just said right there, which is that, you know, as the fans, a lot of times we get frustrated, like, you know, we get a little bit, you know, mockingly angry almost, like, we haven't had a game in 6 years, like, what are you guys doing? But you got to kind of look at it from these devs as well, where, you know, they want us to get content. It's not like they're trying to withhold content from us. They are sacrificing a lot more than we are to put these things out, and the fact that they keep getting canceled, that's got to be much harder on them than it is on us as the fans.
And the thing that's really challenging, too, is that you can have a game where all of the working parts working on the game are doing their part very well. But when you mix all of those parts together, the amalgamation of all of those individual people just doesn't turn into something that is productive or quality or what have you, in the sense that everyone can be doing their own job well. And this guy has done maybe great work for the past 6 years, and everyone doing their own individual work or in their small groups has done great work. But when you put it all together, sometimes the game just doesn't work for whatever reason, story or gameplay wise. And I feel like that's part of his frustration as well, is maybe that he feels like he did a lot of great work and it was for nothing too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you start to read Patrick Redding's tweets about their current project, Redacted, I guess we could call it right now, you see a lot of what they're talking about and how they actually are tweeting out about the project's parts working harmoniously together, and how that actually is something that's going on in the process of the gaming development right now. So, you know, they are doing something good right now. I think that we could point that out as well, that they are on their final project and they are ramping up to do something.
To me, the biggest mistake that not WB Montreal, but actually WB more broadly, and this is why I've echoed the point that they should probably have somebody overseeing the entire video game community, like the DC game community, being a manager for Injustice, but also these WB and Rocksteady games, that kind of thing, is that, you know, we've kind of been in the dark just a little bit. And I think that even if they come out and they say, hey, we had a game in production and it was canceled, so it's going to take a little bit longer than you expected it. The fact that they didn't do that was maybe not ideal, but I also understand it from their perspective because we're not entitled to know these things, and it's a complicated matter. But you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like they could have done a little bit of a better job of keeping us in the loop, but at the same point, keeping us in the loop about what? They never announced anything in the first place, so it's like a double-edged sword. I don't really know how I feel about it, but
I mean, in a way, they did announce that they were working on 2 AAA DC games. Like, that was something that they confirmed.
Yeah.
After Arkham Origins, so we did expect some sort of news after that. I mean,
Right.
That was something that was big for a lot of DC fans, and they weren't making a Lego game. They said AAA DC comic book video game. So I think that in some way we weren't entitled, for sure we weren't entitled, but some communication about the process of 3 video games being canned in a span of 6 years, I think we should have gotten something for sure. I don't know. I think you're right with like a community director. I don't know if they have that. They have like creative directors, and that's all I've really seen. I haven't seen a community director like a James Stevenson, or is Sefton Hill a creative director or a community director too?
Yeah, but he's more of a game director, isn't he, Jake? I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure he's the game director.
Yeah, I think it's
Gab. It's Gaz.
Gaz. Yeah, Gaz Deves.
Gaz. Yeah. So Gaz and James, they are like the community directors. We know them. They are the ones that really oversee a lot of stuff. But I think that WB is just lacking a lot of that. WB Montreal is, and I think that they need to fix that in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Especially because like the employees that they currently have are like, they seem really excited about this game.
Yeah.
So we're getting tweets from like from employees there, but yeah, there doesn't seem to be like a figurehead in terms of interacting with the community.
And that's
Jake,
a problem. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off real quick,
go.
but I want to mention that the excited part, you're right. There's a lot of excitement going on, and you can tell because they're tweeting out a lot of teases. I think if they had a community director, there wouldn't be any of this right now. We wouldn't be getting any of these like pictures of the Court of Owls symbol, a brand new logo of the Court of Owls that we've never seen before. That seems like something a community director wouldn't want out,
Yeah.
And I feel like the excited part might be their eventual downfall in the revealing part of the game. I mean, look at how much stuff they've been teasing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think this is something that I've actually thought about, because I remember I tweeted one time at a developer who I've talked about before. His name is Osama Dorius, and a lot of fans have been tweeting him. So like Salvage and I will like tweet at him, and then a lot of our subscribers will also tweet at him, which is fine. And he said that he loved the passion, and I tweeted at him and I was like, hey, sorry if you feel like you're being attacked, because this guy is like a game designer. He's not like a PR, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, this is not what he's like trained to do, to deal with
his job.
Hundreds of people tweeting him about like, oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? The community manager is really good at doing that because that's what they're trained to do. And that's their sole job. But this guy is just like a game developer, and he's like hopping on Twitter after a long days of work, and he's like getting spammed by all of us eager Batman fans because there is no community manager. So anyway, that's something that's, I agree with you. I think that, but my idea is actually not just specific to WB Montreal. It's actually something overseeing the entire DC Games division. So that includes overseeing Rocksteady, which is kind of setting over Gaz's feet, but not really, because it's just kind of overlooking the whole brand.
Do you mean like a Kevin Feige type figure that just like orders them what to do?
I mean, like James Stevenson, isn't he?
No, he's like
think Bill Roseman.
Bill Roseman. That's what I'm
it's
looking
Bill
for.
Roseman. Yeah, it's Bill Roseman. I mean, someone like him. Yeah, sure. That would be nice to see. I think that there would be a nice balance of games coming out if that was the case. But then, I mean, is he going to oversee the Injustice games too? Like,
Why
is
not?
that something? Well, because it's like a NetherRealm thing, and they have their own process going on. So they already have like the 2-year cycle going on with Mortal Kombat. They don't really need someone looking over them.
And I think that might be their position, that they don't feel that they need it. You guys remember I put my name in the hat for it? I made a video about it. That I wanted to be, I wanted to be the community manager, and I got excited because Jeff, the game director on the Redacted project, he liked the tweet, and I was like, hashtag confirmed. But anyway, I kind of figured not, because usually they get people that are older, like 40s and stuff, and I'm just a kid, relatively. But I don't know. I think I could have done it, but whatever.
I don't know, man.
You don't know. You don't have
maybe
faith?
all 3 of us.
Come on, bro.
It's like we're all
Come
a pair.
on, bro.
We're all a pair.
Facts.
The holy trinity of community directors.
Yes.
All right, so thank you guys both for coming on the channel, and we're about to record some videos for their channel, so of course be sure to subscribe to both of their channels. I'll link it in the comment section below. Guys, thank you both so much for joining me. He does that at the end of every video. I like it.